Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I'm finally sitting down to record my Fan Expo haul. I wasn't going to do one, but then a couple people hit me up and said they were excited to see what I had picked up. So I said, well, I guess I'll do one. I only got to go Saturday and Sunday because it was like a 7 hour drive, and we left on Friday getting over there. That's why I missed Blasted to stash it. But I had bought the VIP, not VIP, but the premium pass to get in. So I had that, and on Saturday, the first thing I did when I got there was I went to Stan Lee's line, and I paid the money, and I got in line, and I got my X-Men #1 signed by Stan Lee. And then on Sunday, I had the Jim Lee experience, so I got Jim Lee to also sign this book. And I got the COA from Stan Lee. They didn't have them there for Jim Lee. I don't know why they didn't have COAs there, but that day I also happened to run into Brandon, Aim High Comics, walking around the floor, and he was headed down to his Adam Kubert thing where he got his sketch done, and he had told me that he got a number of books to get signed. That he didn't have all that many. He was supposed to get like 5, I think it was, and he didn't have that many to get signed. And he asked me, did I have any that I would like to get signed? So he took this for me, this Weapon X variant for Wolverine, Weapon X #1, Adam Kubert, and got that signed for me. I thought that was really cool of him. And then at my Jim Lee signing on Sunday, we got a print and a picture with him. I'll probably put the picture up here. Any of the pictures that I have of these people that I mentioned, I'll just put them somewhere randomly on the screen or at the end or something. But this is my Batman 618 signed by Jim Lee. Jim Lee he went above and beyond, because I talked to the guy that run the whole DC panel thing, and he had told me that Jim came in on a red eye from WonderCon, stayed up all night in his room signing prints for us to get, and then he stood there the whole day when people were coming in to sign autographs at the table. So I thought that was really cool of him. This is the third book I got. I got 3 books signed. And I picked up the All-Star Batman #8, a Fan Expo exclusive by Jim Lee, and I got that signed by Jim Lee. If I can turn it. Jim Lee and Scott Snyder. Both signed that one. So, and then on Saturday was when I had the experience with Capullo and Snyder. That was really cool, getting the Q&A and talk to them, and have them telling stories about various things. I think I have a video from that I might include in here in case you're interested in that. Here's one of the books I got signed is Scott Snyder, The Black Mirror, Batman Black Mirror, signed by Scott Snyder. And of course, my baby, my Batman #1, I had to get it signed by both. I cracked it out of the slab, Capullo and Snyder. And then there's where I cracked it out of the slabs, CGC 9.4, and there's the COA for both of them. It's a double-sided. That's a comic sketch art one too, I believe. And then I got Batman #51 signed by both of them. I just love that cover. And I was only supposed to have 5, but since it was 5 from each, and since I had one that was only for Scott, I could include another one that was only for Greg. So I got my Reborn #1 signed. And I also got a chance on Sunday before we left to meet Khary Payton that plays King Ezekiel on Walking Dead. And he was awesome enough to sign my Walking Dead 108, first appearance of King Ezekiel. And you see right here, if you look over in this right here, he said, we can't leave my girl Shiva out. So I'm trying to, here we go. He drew a paw print and signed her name right there. I thought that was really cool. He was a really nice person, and it made me really think highly of him. Here's another one's first appearance of Duke Thomas that I got signed by Capullo and Snyder at that event. They signed all theirs in gold. And on Sunday, I'm just going to go ahead and show all the comics that I got signed and that I picked up. On Sunday, I was trying to catch Tom King on both days, and I never could catch him. He was never at his booth. He was either doing panels or Q&As or something. But on the very last day, they had said that he wasn't there when I went up there. I was getting ready to leave, and he had signed this it was the last one left, a WonderCon exclusive Batman 19 signed by him. So I picked up that with a COA, and I picked up some more just the exclusive comics. I picked up this Batman number 19 Jim Lee variant. Of course, I'm going to pick it up. I picked up Batman Adventures 12 just because I don't have the book in any of its forms. First appearance of Harley Quinn. And this is cool because it's got the modern Harley Quinn right here. And then when you open it, it's got the old school and the leotard. And then when you open it up further, it's got the original cover for the Batman Adventures 12. This came in our, I bought the premium package. And this came included in that was Iron Fist number 1, Fan Expo exclusive. And I bought this just because Spider-Man was always a character that I wish I would have read up more and got in on. And this is I guess it was a Fan Expo exclusive. It doesn't really say, but it says Amazing Spider-Man number 1, and it's got Stan Lee peeling back the cover, and it says "Welcome back, Peter." I don't know if you can see that good. There you go. Get my hand off. Well, it says "Welcome back, Peter." So I thought that was cool, and this is the book that I picked up simply because I'll never own the original book. And this is Dallas Comic-Con exclusive Amazing Spider-Man number 1. It's a reprint, but still, I thought it was worth it. And also on Saturday, I got to meet the voice of Batman, Mr. Kevin Conroy, and I'll put a picture up on the screen if I can remember to think of it. He was awesome enough to sign this pop for me. He had the blue paint pen there at his booth, and I was happy too because I couldn't find a blue one. I had a white one, and I'm glad he had the blue one because that's what I was envisioning in my head. But he was very awesome. Like, you paid $40 and you got your item signed, and he would take a selfie with you. And when I was getting ready to take my selfie with him, I shook his hand and told him, I was like, whenever I read Batman comics, it's your voice that I hear. And he said, perfect, so. But this is on Sunday, when they had that big panel, the DC panel. I got this premium pass got me in early to there. I didn't have to wait in line. They told me I could go on in. And I ended up waiting around after. And that's my Jim Lee ticket, by the way. This camera's turned around backwards. It always throws me off. But this is my premium pass, and it's signed by it's Greg Capullo, Jim Lee, Dan Didio. Where's it at? Right there. Dan Didio, and then Scott Snyder. And I got selfies with all of those guys. They stood around and talked to the fans afterwards. You could ask them questions and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool because, like I say, to me, it seemed like they were just down to earth, really cool guys. And I was, sometimes you kind of get worried when you look up to people that when you meet them, they're going to be jerks, but that was not the case. But, here's something that was also included in my Fan Expo bag that I got for Premium Pass. This lunchbox, 2017 Fan Expo exclusive, Spider-Man with the Amazing Fantasy 15 cover. I thought that was really cool. And now I'm going to get into the prints that I got, because I did pick up a ton of prints. This is the one that came in my premium bag. I got one that looks just like this, but it's like huge. If I can get this on there. It's huge, and it's signed by Jim Lee down here at the bottom in gold. But it's big, and I don't have a frame for it, so I'm keeping it in my poster too. But this is the one that came in my bag. I'm going to give this one to my brother-in-law. But I thought this was pretty cool. It looks just the same. So I figured I didn't need it. And on Sunday, I had some money left over, so I figured I'd go around and check out the artist alley. And I found Mike Zeck's table, and I got this Deathstroke the Terminator print. He was really cool, Mike Zeck was. I sat and talked to him for a little bit. He was talking about how he didn't like doing some of the bigger cons, like Wizard World, because they're not about comic books anymore and all this kind of stuff. And you can see that's actually signed by Mike Zeck. And I picked up, just because I'll never own this book either, or I don't think I'll ever own it. And that's what I told him when I was buying the print. This is Secret Wars number 8 print signed by Mike Zeck. Alright, I had a technical difficulty, but the next print that I picked up with is Spider-Man, also signed by Mike Zeck. You can see that, pretty cool. And another Marvel character that I wish I would have got into earlier. I mean, I've always kind of liked him because of the movies, but I didn't really read a lot of the comics. The Punisher, signed by Mike Zeck. I thought that was really cool. I got to find a place on my wall for all these cool prints. And I remember Don the Comic Book Junkie showing these off when he went to Tampa Bay Comic Con. And these are the 13th Floor, I think was the name of the company. And on Sunday, they had buy 2, get 2 free. So I couldn't pass that up. They were $10 a piece. So I picked up this one. It's the Area 51. If you can see that. I have a bad problem with glare. I need to see what I can do about it. This one was the old school with the samurais and Yoda. I thought that was pretty cool. And another one, Star Wars, you know, with the I think that's Normandy. They're storming the beach in Normandy, and that's the Death Star and the TIE Fighters. I thought that was really cool. And this was like they're on a hill, and they're overlooking. And it's the Death Star in the background, but it's stormtroopers on the horses that look like samurais. I thought that was cool, that Japanese writing right there. I thought that was really awesome. And the last print, or not actually the last print, this one right here is a black and white version of the Walking Dead cover that Art Adams did. I actually got to meet him. I'll put the picture somewhere along here at the end of this video. Signed by Art Adams. And then the last print that is in my stack here is the one that I picked up. It came with my Snyder Capullo experience. That's this Batman one. And of course it's signed by Snyder and Capullo. But yeah, I had an awesome time at Fan Expo, meeting the great legend and Aim High Comics man, Brandon from Aim High. We actually got to meet on Saturday night after the con. We was texting each other. We met down in the Omni Hotel. It has like 4 restaurants in there, and one of them is a sports bar. We went down to the sports bar and was hanging out, but it was really loud, and we couldn't hardly hear each other. But they were drinking, and you know, I was drinking Diet Coke, of course, because you know me, I don't drink. But we were hanging out and just talking, man, and just having a really good time, just showing off what we'd got from the con, you know, picked up. I know Brandon got some good prints. You've probably seen them in his video. Legends done his video. I'm the last one. But, yeah, I had a really good time. It was actually the first time I've been to a big con like that, and I really enjoyed it. I'm actually making plans to go back next year now. I'm hoping they have somebody cool again. I wanted to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Norman Reedus, but it was lined up around the building for them because they came in late and had to leave early in order to make it to California for Talking Dead on Sunday. So they had to leave out. So people that had done paid for the photo experiences and stuff were going to get refunds, and it was a lot of mad people over all that. Plus all the craze with Mark Hamill, but I didn't get a chance. You know, I couldn't afford to stand in line and get his autograph. He was $195, but anyway, that's my haul. That's my video. I know everybody, well, not everybody, but a few people were wanting to see what I got. I hope everybody has a good Easter Sunday. That's when I recorded this. But, yeah, man, this is Trendy Comics, and I'm out.
more of that proof, like you hired us because you like our skill set, so then just get out of our way. You know, we're trying to give you cool stuff, and if you roadblock that, you know, you're tying our hands behind our back, and we'll give you something cooler than you're thinking it's going to be. And so we kind of just, you know, that's why we join arms, because we believe in what we're doing, right? We wouldn't be doing it, we wouldn't be offering it to you if we didn't think it was, you know, worth doing. And companies get tied up, you know what I mean? They look at what the other company's doing, or they think about their shareholders, or, you know, they got all these different things that clog up, you know, their thinking. And so sometimes they can't recognize, you know, something that might be brilliant. And because they have all these little things in their head at the same time that you're telling them this. Oh, I don't like that title, or I don't like that, you know. And so you just got to kind of push past them together, because it's hard to divide people who are joined, right? And we are always supportive of each other in that way. And so, and we'll always be that way, because, you know, nobody, I mean, other people I'm sure care, I won't say nobody, but Scott and I care intensely about what we do, our craft, our characters, the whole bit. So we know what we're doing, we know what we want to do, and just get out of the way, because we're going to give you the best of us together, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I was saying, like, I was saying earlier how with the issue 5 thing, it was his idea, because I was like, oh, can we figure out a way to do something where we feel really disoriented as a reader, because he's in that maze, and he came up with the brilliant idea of turning the issue. And then there was like a little bit of pushback, and then he wrote this great email. It was like
quoting
Steve Jobs, and it was like, "You must be foolish sometimes."
Right. Stay foolish.
And I was like, I was just like, yeah, ditto, yeah. And then when it came, because they kept warning me, oh, it's gonna look like a misprint. And then I saw it in digital, and it was like you read it vertically in digital. So I was like, you know, what a bunch of wimps. It looks fine. And then when I got the book, I didn't realize that you'd have to read it, like turn it upside down and then read it backwards. And I was like, oh, there's a misprint.
Yeah, and okay, so I'm the biggest fighter on this thing, right? And so I go over all the pagination with the editor meticulously, you know, and it was like I'd say it and he'd repeat it and I'd say it again, you know, it's like very, very particular how the pages were gonna go. Okay, so I have all my pages laid out, so I'm looking at them like this, but I'm not considering, you know, what he just talked about. You know, so they send me the issue. And I get to the page where now you have to start going backwards, flipping the pages the other way. And I didn't plan that, right? I didn't think about it. And so at first I become enraged. And I'm like, I can't believe they messed it up. I went over this so carefully. They screwed it all up. And so then he starts tweeting about it, going, you know, yeah, it's not a misprint, guys. It's not a misprint. And then all of a sudden it dawns on me, you know, oh, it has to be this way. This is brilliant. Accidentally brilliant, but brilliant, because now it's very disorienting. I have to now go the other way. So I call him, I go, take down those tweets, take down the smart crowd, they're gonna get it, don't worry about it. But they fooled me too. When I got that damn thing, I was like, son of a gun, they screwed it all up in the printing process, right? But then, like I said, the more I thought about it, I go, this works even better. It was an unanticipated surprise. And it's the single most complimented issue at every show I do. People go, oh, that issue 5, man. I love that issue 5. So it's great leverage with DC. Whenever I got an idea, they want to bite against me, I just, issue 5.
I was saying too, like, I think for me that issue was really the turning point in my career, where Greg had always been saying, if you just let me go, I'll turn in stuff that's much better than, you know, than what I'll turn in if you just keep trying to constrict me with scripts. And I had been working with people that only liked really full script before that, so I didn't really understand. And that was the first issue I remember where I also did loosen up a lot. And then you turned in this issue that was just a masterpiece. And so I remember being like, for me, that was a perfect example of how much I learned working with you that whole run. Like, that was the first moment I was like, not only that I knew, you know, how much I could glean from working together as partners, but that I really just was floored by it, where I was like, I have to start listening to you a lot more, because I will grow as a writer from that. So that was the huge touchstone in my career, just learning how to work with artists in general, because he was so right about the more leash you give and the more room you give and the more trust you have, the better the product is coming back.
But that doesn't work. That won't work with every single guy, because I've talked to other artists and they want full direction from the writer. They don't know how to tell a story. But guys from my generation who worked at Marvel were given a plot. We weren't given full scripts, and our training involved learning film direction and how to tell a story on the page. And that's how they trained you. And so that's my skill set. And so then when you give me full script, I'm like, I don't know how to do that, because I mean, anybody can do that. A draftsman, all you need is a draftsman. And so when I read stuff, you know, I was used to given like 4 to 6 pages to tell a whole comic book, you know, evocative writing, and they'd give you key dialogue so you could hit the emotional high marks. But all of the rest was up to you to pace and tell visually. And so, you know, I come from an old school, you know, they don't do that too much anymore. It's rare to find writers who will provide that for you, if there are even any anymore. So Scott hasn't gone that far as what I grew up illustrating, but he's given like a hybrid, you know, which is fair, because you don't want to, you know, he's used to working a particular way, so it's not right to go, hey, work only my way, you know, any more than it'd be fair for him to go, hey, you know, work all my way.
Which is what I tried.
Yeah.
Over and over.
But so now we've got a common ground, you know, it's not what I'm used to still, but it's, you know, it's workable for me now, so.
I've gotten looser too. I feel like wait do you see with the.
I will tell you.
The thing that we're not talking about until tomorrow.
I will tell you the one advantage about having all the dialogue in place, though, is then I can really bring the actors to play. You know what I mean? It's like I would always have the high marks, so you would have, you know, those frames which are very important to the story emotionally. But now having every line, I can make every character have just the right gesture and just the right emotion and facial expression and what have you in every single panel, because I have that now. You know? So it was the other way. The writer would be inspired by the visual and then dialogue it. So he'd give you the flight plan, and he'd give you the key moments of dialogue, and then when you turned in the artwork, he finished writing the story basically around what you provided. And that's how that works that way. And Todd and I work that way. Todd would phone me up, and he would speak into, and I'd record it on my recorder